I just want to give Amir kudos for I think the last meeting where he said you have to be consistent and you have to follow up, follow up, follow up, and that's what I'm doing, and I'm seeing results. And I just want to thank Amir and both of you, all of you, really press that issue. Follow up, follow up, follow up. Always follow up with your past contacts because
Right.
there's nuggets in there,
Yeah. It is. Well, thank you, Stephen. I appreciate
and
that.
be consistent.
Yes, consistency is key in any business, really, I think. But
I think in life
Yeah.
is key.
consistency, right?
Be consistent.
Exactly.
Uh,
All right.
Very good.
Here. So,
All right, so we do want to say we got a special guest, and I'll let you take it. But just because we don't have a lot of people on today, we might have forgot to post this that it was out there. These are recorded, and we do have a lot of people viewing them on YouTube. And I get a lot of calls and people saying, "Hey, thank you for that stuff." So just because it's not here live, don't think it's not important. Your input and participation is great. Bernardo, you need to wake up, man. You look like you're sleeping on me over there.
good stuff. All right. Well, everybody, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. Like Mike was saying, we do have a special guest coming on in a minute. But I did want to make everybody aware, in case you were not. Next week, December 12th, from 11 until 2 p.m., we are having our holiday social here at the office.
Yes.
It's going to be food, raffles. It's all for a good cause, too. So we'll do a $10 cash donation at the door, and that's going to go to the Kind Mouse. The Kind Mouse, if you don't know, is a nonprofit here in Pinellas County. I want to say they do Pinellas and Hillsborough, and they provide food and not shelter, but food and clothes to those in need. So after they just went through, I know they helped a lot of people with the hurricane issues and whatnot. But this time of the year, obviously everybody's getting prepared for the holidays, so it's a good cause to.
We need to see what their donation was. Last year they wanted canned hams was the thing they couldn't find for everybody. So maybe after this we'll reach out and then look on your Friday.
Yeah, look on the Connect and
for what
see.
to bring.
Yeah, she did tell us that there's still a lot of people displaced from the storm, and she was telling us that they were feeding people that were living in their cars still. So anything it could be helpful. So just because we've all gone back, hopefully a lot of us gone back to our normal lives, there's still a lot of people displaced out there. It's easy to, like I was telling you before, I drive out the front of my neighborhood and I don't see anything. Drive out the back of the neighborhood and come to work, and I still realize there's been a lot of damage from that storm.
I just had the first truck in my neighborhood, the one that's with the crane.
Did you?
Okay. First time, and since the first Helene.
Yeah. Wow.
Really?
First time. And then still down the one main street, there's nothing. But there's debris everywhere. We burned half of our debris because I just fire pit and started burning it.
Yeah.
And then, but there's a lot of debris there. If I walk 5 houses down, every house all the way down is just tree debris everywhere.
Yeah.
They don't have the option to burn it.
There's a lot of people that are still hurting from that. So, if you can, definitely come out to our holiday social next week. Provide, we'll get you the details on the Friday Connect on, if they're short on anything, but definitely they could use the cash donation, which they can go out and buy food and whatnot for people in need, especially this time.
And just come on in and talk to us, man. Hang out with us for a while. We appreciate that.
We're going to have good food.
Well, yeah, we got food and good company, and we'll share some real stories. There's giveaways. They're not even raffling this year. We don't have a raffle. We're just doing door prizes. I know Integrity's got a couple of nice baskets. Michael Cochran's got a nice basket. Jessica's got a couple nice Rutherford baskets. They got gift cards in them, and they're free. Yeah, and they're just coming.
And Bernardo, if you want to throw one in there too, you're more than welcome to. We're always happy to have you.
I have one coming too, so
maybe you could give away a free flood policy or something.
That would be nice, right?
I don't know if y'all remember.
No, yeah, Jessica reached out to me. I have a basket. Me and Julie are putting a nice basket together.
Awesome.
He always puts together a very nice.
He does. You want the Piccolo basket.
Yeah,
I think we should be really in full transparency and disclosure. I think Bernardo has some help putting that basket together. I'm not sure it's him doing all that work.
I think
just a little bit, right, from Julie?
He's got an elf. He's got an elf that puts that really nice basket. So you're right. They're amazing.
All right. So I wanted to, I know we've had a kind of a theme the past couple of weeks of talking about 2025 and getting your business ramped up for that. We've gone over some good nuggets, as Stephen was kind enough to say. But I wanted to bring on Joe with Old Republic Home Warranty. I think having a good option for a home warranty is one of the key tools you should have in your toolbox. when going on a listing appointment or even working with buyers. And so I will let Joe take it over from here, and I think he's got a couple of maybe a slideshow or whatnot to put on for you. But Old Republic Home Warranty, I'll let Joe go over it. But been around for a long time.
Old Republic's been around. They don't call them Old Republic for no reason. They've been around a long time.
Yeah, it's
That's
all right,
100%
Joe,
true. Thank you, and I appreciate you having me today. Just a little bit about myself. I spent 11 years in general real estate, mostly in the Las Vegas market. I've closed over 200 transactions. I carried a CRS designation, so I have a little bit of experience when it comes to real estate. Probably not as much as you guys, but I know what I'm doing out there, and I know what the real estate agents are up against. And I know that the product that we have is really it could be a key differentiator. In different markets, the home warranty is used in different scenarios. Obviously, when it's a seller's market, it's hard to get those things on the RPAs and writing them in there so that the seller is paying for them, paying for the buyer side. But now that we've come to a more balanced market, where the sellers, you're having homes that are sitting on the market for 30, 60, 90 days. This is where the home warranty could come into play on both sides of the equation. So on the seller side, we have a great product that helps keep the seller protected during the listing side or during the length of the listing. So for up to 6 months, for $75, we're going to protect the seller from anything that happens in their home. And it's a minor plan, but it is something that helps the seller during that time, gives them a little assurance that because when it comes to selling a home, you put it on the market, the home gets a little jealous. It starts wondering, why are you selling me? And it breaks. Things break in the house. I mean, that's just the nature of it, and I've seen it 1,000 times. It seems like every time we put a list of home, something that hasn't broken in 10 years breaks. So this is one of those things that can help you protect them. The other thing that it does, and the way we structure that deal is that you put the home warranty on the seller side, then it's required to buy one for the buyer at closing. So it doesn't matter who pays for it, but that it just is put on at the closing table. So that'll put the buyer protected from basically the time they purchase the product all the way for the next year. And it's a great product that we have. We have sign writers that you can put onto your listing so that when people are driving by, they realize that the home is going to be protected, and it gives you that extra edge when you're competing against all the other properties that are coming on the market to be able to differentiate yourself. So there's a lot of anxiety that is out there right now on the buyer side. Am I buying in Florida? Is this home good? Is it was it affected by the storms? And this is one of those things that can add that extra layer of comfort that will make the difference between choosing your listing and somebody else's listing. So that's just my general overview right now of the situation. But I wanted to share a little bit of what we can do for you. I'm going to share my screen.
while you're doing that, Joe, when you're talking about the seller's coverage, I think, I was reading that and I think it's, a great listing tool, to come to a seller and say, hey, for, $75, we can put this home warranty coverage on your home during the listing period. So, with that seller's coverage, does that cover, let's say the buyer does their inspection, 4-point issues come up. Is that where that coverage would come into place? For
So yeah,
plumbing?
so if there are unknown issues that the seller was not aware of that are discovered during that process, yeah, it would be covered. So that's really the beauty of the coverage, is that there are surprises that will come up during that time frame. And just give me a second here.
Yeah, sure.
So yeah,
And
I've also used it in the past, with buyers. We have with several agents here that they always, that was what they got their buyer, was a home warranty for. And if you can't swing for their closing gift, if you can't swing the whole thing, I'd split it with them. I would go to them and say, hey, listen, let's split it. I'm going to credit it to you back. Let's get this in place for you. And while Joe's bringing that up, I just want to say this real quick. I did a little dirty yesterday, a deed around here. That's doing our insurance for next year, our E&O insurance, which is a big deal. You know, one of the main questions they ask, what percentage of your transactions have a home warranty on it? That is giving them the ability to rate our policy based on how many agents are using home warranties.
Wow.
So that tells us it's helping us from a legal standpoint too. So sorry, Joe, go ahead.
Exactly. And, I come from a different market. In Las Vegas, we probably put on, I would say 30% of the properties that transact have a home warranty on them. And it's a little different. They don't, the realtors there don't buy any of the home warranties. It's basically negotiated into the deal that the seller provides. And the seller's kind of accustomed to that. Now, we are obviously in a different market here. Florida's been extremely a hot market, and those type of things had gone away during that time frame. But now that we're getting more into a balanced market, you can start negotiating those in without having to cut into your commissions. And that's the concern that a lot of agents here in town have, is that oh well, it's going to eat up $600-700 of my commissions. That's just not the case. If you're negotiating that up front, and you're putting it into your agreement, you can get that covered most of the time. And it was a little baffling to me when I came to this market, that was expected from the buyer's agent to pay for as a gift. And it's a nice thing to do, but if you can get it negotiated in at the beginning part, much better, much
Yeah.
better.
Yeah, when you're spending 400 grand on average, for a home, it's easy to bake in a $500 home warranty that solves a lot of problems, guys. It
Yeah.
helps you hold deals together that, that maybe the hot water heater is 10 years old, or,
But
something.
it's still working.
That's
The buyer
right.
wants
It really, like Joe has said, it makes your buyers have a little peace of mind.
Yeah. So I'm not gonna go through all of this, but I'm just gonna do a quick overview of some of the marketing materials that we have to help agents. So we have this newsletter that we can do. Sorry about that. It's friends, between friends. You can customize this to your own liking. We'll put all the materials in there for you. You just customize your name to it, and then you can send it out to your clients. It comes in black and white color if you want to print it out. You can do customized calendars, send them out to your clients. Um, Homeowners tips, a 20-page guide that helps out. It's just one of the things that help you keep top of mind when you're thinking of materials to communicate out to your list of clients and potential customers, that you're there, you're helping, you're involved, you're engaged. Um, so that's what that looks like. We have farming coupons, and this is something that if you're shopping, if you're out there doing door-to-door knocking or something along those lines, you can say, hey, if you list with me, I will put this home protection onto your home during the listing period, and it's a nice little way to differentiate yourself as well. So all of that is in our toolbox that you have access to. Gift cards, open house registries, um, just listed, just sold postcards, and you can get those in 1,000 different places. We have them as well. Um, but we have e-cards. So this is one of the cool things. When your client signs up and gets a home warranty through us, we will send out a congratulations on their new home. So once again, it'll be targeted to you with your name on there. So another touch point that'll happen without you even really doing much of anything. And then anniversary e-cards. These will be sent directly to you. You just forward them on to your clients when they hit that 1 year anniversary. Once again, another touch point. And Stephen, you mentioned it earlier. There's nuggets in there. I mean, you never know when somebody's going to have to buy or sell or know somebody, and just reaching out to them and touching them again. These are just additional touch points, a reason why you can reach out to them. We have door hangers. If anybody's doing door knocking out there anymore, I know it's not real popular these days, but we have those available. Just give me a call and I'll get them into your office. And there's a bunch of different ones that are in there. All of these are inside of our marketing toolkit you can look at. These are the sign writers that I talked about previously. They come in the 18 and 24-inch size. And there's some talking points in terms of how you want to move forward with this. So and why Old Republic. So these are all pieces and parts that help you. I won't go into detail on all of them. Tent cards, if you have something that's covered already, if you're doing an open house, you can put that out there. Once again, letting the potential buyer know that the home is covered. Feedback forms, all of that. I can't get to my, hold on a second.
Yeah.
There we
So,
go.
like the door hangers that you had up there, those can be customized as well with the agent's information and or
Yeah.
co-branded more or less.
Yeah, they actually have slots in there, so you slide your business card in there, and then
Okay.
yep. So technically, yes, they are co-branded.
Awesome.
So, let's see. That's not where I wanted to go.
Yeah, when I was still
Go over
selling
here.
the newsletter that he was talking
Yeah.
about, I used to use that quite often because I always want to put a newsletter out for my clients, but I don't have the time or the patience to put one together. They already had it; it's co-branded, and so then I would just
Perfect.
email it out to everybody. It's another touch point, and it really looked amazing.
It's done professionally. It's done for you. I don't have to go sit down and start an original work
Yeah.
or buy these services. It's right there. It's just like Joe said, it's another touch point. It's already made for you. Use it.
Definitely.
The sign writers, how long does it take to get one?
I could drop a bunch off at your office and just tell me how many you need, and I'll bring them by.
Cool. And the door hangers too. Whatever you have that's pre-printed or pre-produced, and you can drop them off, and agents they'll be here.
Okay.
We'll give them to you.
Cool. I'll do that.
Awesome.
One of the cool things, and one of the things that I liked when I was an agent, was the agent toolbox. And right here, it's available 24/7. You can place an order any time you want to. Because what I used to do is I used to focus my efforts, my efforts that are customer facing during the day when my customers were available and clients were available, and then at night I would do my work in front of the TV and just push this in. Super easy to place an order. Once you log into the toolbox, once again, you have access to all of your clients that had done stuff in the past. Oops, I'm going to skip over that. She gives you an example of what it is, but you can go in there and you can look at the request history, service history, but you can place the order right then and there. It takes like 5 minutes to place an order, and then it copies your title agent, it copies the listing agent. Everybody's copied on it. They all get communication on it. Your client gets communication with the plan number because the day you close, you're covered. All of that's in there, and it's really a useful and valuable tool for an agent that's busy that has a lot of activity going on. So, highly recommend you using this. About 70% of our agents go on through our toolbox and order through that. But you can call me too. I'm available. You can send me an email saying, "Hey, I have this client that's I just put into escrow. Can you put the warranty information on it?" And you provide me the information. I go in there and I can do it for you.
Gotcha. Cool.
Guys, this is just one more tool for upping your level of professionalism in the transactions, and there's some side benefits to it that you don't, with the marketing tool and stuff. But this is something that let me tell you something. You have a buyer that winds up, getting their AC fixed in July because they've closed in May, and it gets them limps them through another year or two or whatever it may be. You're going to be a hero when you come back and talk to them like, "Hey, man, sure glad we put that home warranty on for us."
Well, the cool thing is, and Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, but when I used to use Old Republic, anytime your client made a claim, you got an email notification on that they made a claim or something like that. So you could reach
Another
out.
touch point.
It's another time you can reach out to them and say, "Hey, how'd the claim go? Whatnot?" It just follow up, make sure everything's good. And if there is an issue, I'm sure the agent can reach out to you, Joe, and you'll get it taken care of, or get it straightened out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yep. And that's what I'm here for. So, any help that you need with regards to that, we pay out on 95% of our claims. So we have one of the highest rates in the industry. We've been around since the 70s, and it was really developed as an assist to an agent and protect the agent along with the E&O, so that you know, you don't get those weird calls, you know, 2 weeks down the road after you close that, hey, my stove broke, you know, and it just protects you overall, makes the experience a lot better, makes it easy to get referrals down the road. And that's what this business is based on. Once you get to that point where you're 100% referral based, life is a lot easier in real estate.
Yeah.
It sure is.
Yeah, it is. That's a good place to be when it's all referrals.
Well, I
Yep.
appreciate you jumping on here, Joe. If you
Yeah.
want to, or if you can, please put your contact information in the chat box there, and Byron will get it sent out to everybody. But yeah, definitely, like Mike said, drop off some of the riders if you can, and some of the door knockers. I didn't show you when you were here the other day, but we have basically a store in our office.
We'll put them in there.
Agents come in, you know, to grab open house signs and you know, for sale signs and
Yeah.
stuff like that. We can definitely put it in there as a gift with purchase.
Yeah, and encourage them
Perfect.
to use.
Okay,
Thanks for
yeah,
coming.
I'll be by there on Friday.
Perfect.
I have something at Pro that I'll be doing, so at 10 o'clock. So I'll stop by after that.
All
Cool.
right, sounds
Awesome.
good,
We'll
Joe.
look forward
Appreciate
to it. Make sure we get your information, and thanks again for coming on. We appreciate you.
Yes, definitely.
Thank you.
All right, so you know, if you guys have questions, you know, feel free to
Yeah, jump in,
put
guys.
them in the chat box there. But just moving on, I don't know if a lot of people are aware. I know that it was put out in the news a little while ago, but FinCEN, which is the Financial Crimes Enforcement Network, an act was put out in 2021. It was called the Corporate Transparency Act, and this was started. And the deadline is January 1st of 2025. So if you're an agent who runs as an LLC or a corporation, definitely you want to get onto the FinCEN's website and register your business if you haven't already. I thought that my CPA was going to take care of that, but she promptly told me that, nope, that's my job. So don't assume that because you have somebody taking care of your taxes and all that stuff, that they're going to do it. But definitely look into it if you run as a LLC or an S corp or even a corporation. You just need to go to FinCEN, FINCEN.gov/BOI. It stands for the BOI is the beneficiary
Interest, beneficiary of interest or something.
observation interest or something like that.
Okay.
So
Mayor, if I can say a couple words, be careful with, there's a lot of scam emails out there about that, trying to get people to go into what is supposed to be a registering site, and you end up putting all your information and registering, you know, in a scam email or on a scam site. So I think we probably should try to send the official link out to them. It ends with .gov or .org or something like that. We need to just make sure that they're going to the right place, because there's a lot of scams.
Yeah, that's a good point, Bernardo. This would be better, instead of responding to something, be proactive and just go to the site, and then you know you're
Correct.
correct.
Yeah.
but it's definitely important to do. I'm sure you've already done it, Bernardo, and
Yeah, it's not very complicated, but it is crucial to be done by the first, because the penalties are pretty
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah, Amir was telling me about the fines yesterday, and I was like, "Wow, they're hefty."
Yeah, they're
$500
definitely
a
taking
day.
this serious.
Yeah, exactly. So
And it applies to even to you know, if you have an LLC they used to flip homes with it, or something that is sitting idle for 10 years but it's still active, it has to be done on those as well. Otherwise, you're going to create, you know, some fines on something that you don't even think exists anymore. So
Yeah, exactly. Something you haven't used in years, and all of a sudden you owe the government money, and they collect. I have found. One way or another, when you owe the government money, they collect.
They do, definitely. So, yeah, I just want to put that out there as a public service announcement. I mean, there's nothing for us to do for you here at the office. I know we had a couple agents call over the past week. They said they got an email, like Bernardo was saying. I don't know if it was a legitimate email or not, but definitely, you know, Google it or just go to FinCEN.gov and you'll be able to get it registered. And as Bernardo said, it's very simple to register. Not very much information, but you know, definitely want to get that done. So, all right. So, moving on. I know we wanted to talk. Well, since Bernardo's already here, let's chat with him for a minute. How's everything going in the insurance world? And anything new, exciting, or?
if I said wonderful, I'll be lying.
You know what I used to say? I would say it's incredible. In 2008, 2009, when people would say, "How's the real estate market?" I go, "It's incredible. You wouldn't believe it. It was incredibly bad, but it was incredible."
Hey, it is. It's actually not that bad. I've been getting a lot of positive calls from clients saying that they're getting some claim money ahead of the actual claim, some prepayments. And some people are calling in because they're worried. They're like, I got a check and I don't know what it is. It's a low amount, but I need it. Can I cash it? And I'm like, yes. You're mostly flood related. They're saying sending usually anywhere from $2,000 to $5,000 ahead of time as they're processing the claim, so people have some money to either pay for cleanup or start rebuilding and so on. There's a lot of holdback on rebuilding due to the county inspecting and releasing permits for rebuilding, which is kind of probably taking a little bit of the edge off people waiting for adjusters to get back with them because they're still waiting for the county or the city to allow them to start. So having the money in hand sometimes is not even going to help much. But Citizens is starting to do a lot of the assumptions, allowing a lot of the assumptions to be done through some more established companies, I guess. Instead of doing this, brand new 6-month-old insurance companies going in and cherry picking policies out of Citizens. Now we have, larger, more established companies like American Integrity and so on taking some of those policies. So as an agent, we kind of feel better when that's the scenario, especially when some of these people are not given the option to stay with Citizens anymore. They're being obligated to be transferred over. And this is something that is important for everyone to kind of stay on top of, because the way the paperwork comes, it kind of leads you to believe that if you don't do anything, you stay with Citizens. And that's completely the opposite. If you don't do anything, you get transferred to whoever wants to take you. And if you don't look at it, you may get picked by the wrong company. Some of the offerings now come with multiple companies, so you can have Citizens is your primary. Now you get a letter from Citizens saying, here's company A, B, and C. They're willing to take you over. And the premiums on those options are drastically different. So obviously you want to get with your agent and figure out which one's the best option. And then just stay on top of it at renewal, next year, because those premiums will likely go up a lot. And at that point, you may end up having to go back to Citizens again. So, I mean, that's kind of what we're seeing in the last couple weeks. Nothing really standing out too much.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been hearing as far as people trying to get their properties back together. Is the counties have stopped issuing permits, or there's just a huge backlog. So
yeah,
I think there's some frustration there. But yeah, I think as we get past the holidays, I think we'll start to see some permitting things come. Permits being issued. Maybe by that time, FEMA and claims will start to come through.
Yeah.
But we're still seeing a lot of sellers just ready to back up and move on. I think
their frustration levels even getting higher now with the permitting issues and finding really wrapping their head around the 50-50, the FEMA 50%. So that's where we can hate to say it, but we can come in and bring value to them and liquidate the property for them.
And last time we were together, we talked a little bit about where to find information on the 50-50 rule. It may be a good idea to bring it back up again. Basically, if you have a seller that is, scratching their heads and wondering if they're going to fall in the 50% rule or not, one easy way to kind of get a ballpark of what's going to happen is you can click on your, on the MLS, click on the tax records link, and then get taken over to the property appraiser's office, to the actual page for that particular property. And down on the bottom, there's a letter there basically from the property appraisers, kind of giving you some reference on what the numbers are. And then obviously if you disagree with it, then that's a good time to get started with an appraiser to try to get those numbers back to where you think is fair. But that's something that people should be already addressing, or at least getting prepared by knowing what those numbers are.
Yeah, we actually have Mike Twitty coming in next week to record a podcast with us. And I know Amir talked to you guys. We're going to kind of roll this into the podcast. It seems to be more convenient for a lot of people to listen to these things rather than be online. But they'll still be recorded and put on YouTube if that's your preferred method. But any questions you guys specifically have that you'd like for us to address with Mr. Twitty, shoot them in the comments and we'll ask him what's going on. He is a very bright guy and a very proactive property appraiser. He kind of knows more than and steps outside the bounds and does a lot. So it'll be really informative, and tune into that if you get a chance.
Yeah, definitely. And as Bernardo was saying, that letter that you can get at the property appraiser site it does have the verbiage in there for if you do not agree with, the values that are in here and you want to go and do you brought that to my attention.
And I was about to say,
It says on there how to, get that adjusted. You
Yeah.
find a private appraiser and then you bring it back and meet with either the property appraiser, the county property appraiser, or the
investors.
one of the adjusters.
Yeah.
They have the links on there.
Yep, they got the
Yeah.
links right
They
there.
have the links, and I've actually sent John Marcello a couple of these already. People have called me, past clients that I know, and like, hey, I just disagree with this number. This is what I got. How do I appeal this? And I've sent them over to Marcello, who's certainly.
And the appeal process is probably going to be pretty lengthy. So the sooner you start on it, the better, because who knows how long it's going to take to get those things reviewed and readjust if they do anything.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
Makes sense.
So, Bernardo, is that it? You're gonna wrap that little section up?
I think that's it.
All
I'm
right.
wearing my vintage Ruttenberg hat here today.
That is old school, man. Where did you find that?
Oh man, it took some digging to find.
Agent 007, by the way, right there. Y'all. He literally was the 7th agent to join the brokerage 25 years ago. So,
He's one of the OGs.
but he's not a secret agent, man. All his customers and clients know that he's the Ruttenberg agent, not a secret agent. I like that. I'm going to jump in. Amir's got a lot of stuff to go over for you as well, some nuggets. But we want to update you quickly on the settlement. It did get approved. For those of you that are paying attention and watching to some of the national news, the settlement did get approved. There also was a 11th hour objection to it by the Department of Justice. Came out and said they didn't like some things about it. Actually, the plaintiff's attorney came out and said there was some other things that we had implemented that was terms of the settlement that they were disagreeing with. So basically, I'm going to sum this real short as I can. It is a cluster mess. That's a nice way to put it. It's got to shake out. What I need you to do is don't read something or hear something from the agent down and start saying, oh, we don't have to use buyer's agreements anymore. I heard that. Or we shouldn't be doing this. You got to get your information right here. You really do. Now, I suspect that we'll be doing it different than the brokerage down the street and Century 21 and Remax, and everybody's going to have different ideas of how to keep their office and their agents protected. Because I have to keep you, Mir and I have to keep you protected to keep us protected. When I say protected, from the lawsuits, because they're going to continue to come. Things are going to shake out. But we just need you to keep, if there's going to be a major change in procedural policy around here, we will come on and tell you. We will send you emails. We will get a hold of you. We'll say, listen, there's an important announcement about procedural change, and jump on. And we'll tell you all at the same time, give you the opportunity to ask questions. The next thing coming down the pipe is the clear cooperation. Anybody been hearing about that? Clear cooperation is certainly being tested as to whether it's legal or whether it's going to be overturned. Clear cooperation is where you have to put your listing in the MLS. As a realtor, you are required to put that listing in the MLS within 40 or 24 hours of any public marketing. Mir might have a different opinion. I don't know. Byron might as well. I believe it's going to be repealed. I believe it has to be repealed. I believe it's an overreach and always have been. Now, do I believe that 98% plus of your sellers will benefit from your property being in the MLS? Absolutely. But it should not be forced or mandated, is my opinion, by anybody. A seller should have the obligation. A seller should not be infringed upon their rights by the agent's code of conduct with a trade organization. Sure. My feeling. There's plenty of properties out there that don't want to be on the MLS, and there's other ways to market those properties, which I'm going to talk about to you guys real quick. But what's going to go on with the clear cooperation is one issue. The other thing that it issued right now that I definitely see coming down is what's called the three-way agreement.
Yeah.
The three-way agreement is basically you got to be a member of a board, you got to be a member of Florida Realtors, and a member of NAR to get MLS access, right? And I am convinced we're going to see that go away. In fact, there's already some MLSs in the country that are not requiring that. So you're going to have some different ways of marketing and some different things going on out there. I want to tell you quickly about how and why we do this. I don't think everybody understands, but we have two companies here. We have our Charles Ruttenberg Realty Inc. That's our main company. If you are a realtor and you are a member of all three of those associations and have Stellar MLS, you're in our Inc. company. And the reason we do that is we have an agreement with NAR.
Yeah.
All brokerages do that says anybody in that company is all realtors. So that's why we have to do it. If you choose to not be a realtor and not pay board dues and be a member of Stellar MLS, we have a company for that too. Okay, that's called Associates Company. I think we have about 500. Yeah, we have about 500 agents in our Associates Company, which has traditionally been a referral company. Okay, we call it Associates. It's a referral company, one and the same around here. Most of those agents just refer business because they don't have Stellar access. They don't have access to the MLS. They don't have super key access. So they find a buyer or seller comes to them and they refer it out and they make a nice commission on a referral. We do have agents in there that handle transactions, and you are perfectly legal to handle transactions in that company. The reason I tell you guys all of this is if it's that time of year, and if there's agents out there that just can't or don't know if it's a smart business move for them right now to shell out the money to renew all of their MLS subscriptions and board subscriptions and all that, you can go and we just transfer you over. It's a call and an email to the company. We'll transfer you over to the Associates Company. It's just $35 a month and not all the other additional fees. Now, what we're seeing is there's going to be, that's off-market stuff. There is going to be opportunity to sell properties there. You can handle anything. If you don't need super key access, you don't need to list a property on the MLS, you don't have to. You can handle transactions in that company. And this is a reverse, of course, for us, by the way. We've been told we deal with a lot of lawyers around here, a lot more than we like to, and we were told that maybe it was in our best interest to just let referral agents stay referral. We're kind of stepping out and going, no, you have a license in the state of Florida, and we're not going to force you to be a member of a board or MLS or any of that. And if you want to handle transactions and you're doing it within the limits of the law and what's legal, you're perfectly allowed to do that. Now, the other option that's going to come is there's a lot of talk that Zillow and the other portals right now are gearing up to become the de facto MLS should this break down. They're working on their business model right now. So that's something to keep in mind, guys. If you're, had a rough year, and first of all, if you're here, you're watching this, you're listening to this, you watch it delayed on YouTube, man, congratulate yourself, because we've just come off the two roughest years we've had in a long time. There will be less than 4 million transactions, properties move hands this year in this country, and that's not happened since prior now to 1995.
Right.
In over 30 years. So there may be opportunities, and I think it will happen in 2025, where you are not a realtor, you are a licensee, a sales agent. You have that license where you can handle transactions and have a way to advertise them and a way to go search properties. There's also a MLS out there called My State MLS. Mm-hmm. You can get a monthly subscription to that. It's just monthly. You can advertise on it. It is not a NAR affiliated MLS. So there's no fines, no penalties, no mandates that you put in certain information and do this. What I think is cool about it is it's a way for you as the agent they auto feed,
Zillow, and they syndicate to I think 150 different websites out there, including Zillow, Realtor.com, all the big ones. It's just another option. For me, I've always been a realtor. I'm probably always going to stay a realtor, but we just want to put that option out there because we know agents have had a tough year. And, some of them are hemming and hawing about, should I pay, to belong to a board? Because I don't see the value anymore, to be quite honest with you. I'm doing 1 or 2 deals a year, and NAR did what they did and settled on our behalf. And supposedly that was in our best interest, but I don't feel like they held up their end of the bargain. I kind of want to get out of the business, but I don't want to because I've worked so hard. We're just putting this option out there as another option.
Yeah, we're not encouraging you not to do this. We're just saying, in the event that you make a business decision or you personally are that upset with NAR and what went on and don't like the things that you saw, that's an option. And we want you guys to have all the options that are possibly on the table for you to make money. So we're not promoting one thing over another. I agree with. I'm always going to be a realtor. Now the board, though, with what happened with the MLSs, not the board. Well, what happened with the MLS is the biggest value to the board and the MLS membership was your income, your commission was guaranteed
Correct.
via the MLS.
And now that's not there.
That's gone. So that was the biggest value they brought to the table.
Mhm.
Now, again, the biggest visible value. Now, we have always said, I believe Florida Realtors is worth that $150 a year you pay to Florida Realtors. I can't write that check fast enough.
Yeah. I mean, you have access to the legal. You have access to the forms that are put out. I mean, your contract is put out by Florida Realtors. So, there's definitely a lot of value with Florida Realtors.
Absolutely. If for nothing else, being the tech guy that I am, I need that free tech line support over there.
No,
Now, a lot
they
of
do
people
that.
don't use that, but that's crazy, man. You could buy a new phone and not know how to turn it on. Call the Florida Realtors Tech Hotline.
They have a lot of marketing stuff too.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Photo
have so much marketing stuff that's on Florida Realtors that you could use for like data, like last month's
Sunstats.
trend, or Sunstats.
Yeah.
It's just exactly like, why wouldn't you use it? Like if you do have time right now, you're not on the referral business where you don't have time to make a newsletter. Sunstats, you can pop out a newsletter in a
Exactly.
matter of minutes.
Right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just have you seen this or look at this
That's what's
trend,
going on in the industry
and
right
then
now.
what do you think about this? And create the questions on Facebook, where everybody starts talking about it.
Yeah.
So and then just the marketing tools alone, Florida Realtors, there's so many to do. So
Yeah. And even, is Photofy national or is that Florida? I always confuse this stuff.
Which one?
I don't
Photofy? Guys, if you're not looking at Photofy, look at Photofy. That's it's got all these templates made for you, already branded to you. You pop in there, open your little account, and you literally, a guy like me, can 2 clicks with my phone, and I got it posted on all these social media sites and stuff. And it's really cool looking graphics.
Include all your stuff.
And everybody, when they see my post out there, they're like, man, that's really good. And I go, yeah, I worked on that for hours, man. You should have seen. I was doing Word Zip and Press, and I was doing this.
Word Zip.
Yeah, all that good stuff.
Not good.
So
Florida Realtors brings out, they have great value.
They do.
They definitely do. And, and people, just to go back on the harp of, people don't understand what NAR does for them. Well, I'll tell you, the biggest thing that NAR does for you is keeps you as a 1099 employee.
Yep.
They lobby very hard to keep you as a 1099 because I know there's a lot of other industries out there that would love to see realtors become W-2.
Yeah.
And we don't want that as
yeah,
W-2.
no, we don't. And you think our industry's gone through some change? You turn us from 1099 to W-2 employees and watch the change, watch the exodus, quite candidly. And there was a little company out there, I think called Redfin, that just tried to do that for a long time.
Yeah,
And now they do.
traditional.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Redfin, it did not work having W-2 salespeople, so they just went to their traditional. Real quick, get off of that. We'll be bringing you guys information as it comes out, as we interpret it. I will not even tell you the legal bill that we paid last month because we get a lot of advice for that legal stuff because they like to bill us, and we're not done with all of them yet. And it was insane. And they keep coming, but that's all right. As John, our founder, said, we're well positioned to get you guys taken care of. We don't need to charge or raise your fees or anything. But I wanted to say 2 things. We're going to have an Instagram class in January. Our amazing marketing director, Lori Ford, put this together with CMG.
Yep.
And I thought, I probably could have done it, being the tech guy that I am, but I said, no.
You're too busy, Mike. You're too busy. You're too busy.
And I said, I will be the first one to sign up for that class because I don't know how to Insta-talk, book, and none of that stuff, man. I don't even know how it works, but I know that I scroll through it and I see some funny stuff and I see some great ads and I'm like, I know that much. The other thing I want to tell you, and I didn't tell him I was going to tell you this, is Byron is mentoring people for us. We finally locked him in head and got him doing that. Please, and Byron is a great mentor, guys. So our mentoring program with David and Byron is just phenomenal. Don't be afraid to jump in, guys. I was mentored 5 years in the business, and I gave up 50% of my money to be mentored. That was called joining a brokerage back when I did it. But now, models are different, and for pennies on the dollar, you can get somebody to walk you through the stuff that the learning curve can be expensive, and he can flatten that out for you. So I didn't tell Byron I was going to tell you guys that, but I think he's a phenomenal trainer. I really do. He's patient and he's accessible and he's knowledgeable. So
and that the mentor program we have obviously is it's for anybody, but a lot of times it's for the new agents maybe they've brand new agents or agent coming from another state moving here doesn't know, the Florida cadences and whatnot. So, we always put them with a mentor. And I know we have some seasoned agents on here. If you guys want to, be a mentor, let us know. Feel free, shoot me an email. Let me know. We have a little bit of a vetting process we go through, but it's we're always looking for good mentors because we're always bringing in new agents, and we need new agents to be put with seasoned agents. So, so definitely get on there and do that. Speaking about the Instagram class, which is great. That's gonna, as we've talked in the past, getting out of your comfort zone and getting on social media, putting the videos, putting any type of content out there just to provide brand awareness of yourself. So many times things get put out on social media and you might not get the likes or the comments or the engagement, but I guarantee you people are looking at that stuff. And because they'll come up to me or come up to Mike later and say, hey, I really appreciate that you put that post out there the other day. It's really just about awareness, so whether you're getting likes or not. And I know, some people get a little hesitant about it. They don't know what to post, but we just, showed you the one thing with Old Republic, providing you, something of value that you can post out there. You can join Byron's Canva class today. Learn how to do, different infographics and different dressing up your listings and stuff like that, to post those out there. Those are all free to get, to add to your toolbox. Mike and I have been for videos. Mike and I have been using this app called BigView. It's called BigView, BIGVU. There is a free portion of it, but then there's also a paid portion of it. I think it's a phenomenal video app. You can, take a video in there, but if you don't know what to say, there's an AI writer right in there. You just tell them basically what you want, and it'll put a script together, and then it's got the teleprompter right there. It's a one-stop shop. You can shoot your video in literally 2 minutes and post it. It's an incredible app. I think it's the free version's decent, but the paid version is
isn't that much.
No.
The paid version was very affordable.
And then like Stephen was saying, staying consistent. Part of staying consistent, and as Byron and I talked last week, getting it on your calendar everything out. Well, you can spend calendar out 1 day a week that you are setting up your social media to go out at doing a scheduler. And the one scheduler that I like that I've used a lot in the past is called Buffer, Buffer. You can schedule everything on there for months, years out, really. So create the content, put it in there, load it up, schedule it to send it out. You want if you have an email list, you can take the newsletter that you're grabbing from Old Republic or wherever else, pop that in there, pop in your email list, and schedule that out. Schedule that to go out. It is, that way you can just kind of set it and forget it. And so you can be out there shaking hands and kissing babies, and being that rainmaker that you want to be.
Can I add to that?
Of course you can.
So when it comes to social media and like the Facebook business page, like they have their planner and stuff, and that's a whole different ballgame of the world. But this makes it a lot easier. What I want to add to that is, don't do this at home. Go to your local coffee shop, sit there with your Charles Rutenberg, shirt on and your name tag and your cup, and look like have some stuff laying around you that looks like you have a house that you're trying to list, but just do all your social media posts. Just have this paperwork that looks like you're doing something like that. But you do all the social media stuff, you can be there for 2 or 3 hours. You never know if you run into somebody. One of Lance's things he used to do, he had to rent the coffee shop. You're going to find people at a coffee shop, especially if people are coming in, they're walking in that local area. You live in that local area. Sit in the coffee shop for a couple hours every Thursday or something. Whatever you think might be a good day for you to plan all your stuff. But don't do it at home, because you can't accidentally run into somebody at home.
That's true.
You can even call your local sign company, whoever you use. What I had when I was doing it down here at the Starbucks in Clearwater, I had some franchises of a different thing, and I had a sticker that went right on the back of my laptop. So when I picked it up, they saw, boom, my company right there. You throw Charles Rutenberg on there, whatever.
Look for the sticker, or
your skirts, your
skins.
hats.
They call them skins too.
That's what it is. The skin.
Not only Charles Rutenberg, but you put underneath that, ask me. or ask any questions. I'm a realtor. Ask me now.
Yeah.
Then people don't feel like they can't talk to you.
And it's an icebreaker. You know what I mean? Now somebody's going, I wanted to go say something to the old bald dude over there, but now he's asking me to come talk to him. I'm like, hell yeah, I sell real estate.
That's right.
You know, I can find you some or I can sell you some, whatever you need.
But to finish up on my productivity apps that I wanted to mention to everybody, once when you really get going, I mean, obviously, if you're just starting out, you can kind of respond to the engagement that you're getting yourself on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, anything along those lines. But there are other sources. If you needed like a chat bot or somebody to do automated responses to, when people message you, there's a company or an app out there called Manny, M-A-N-Y, or Many Chat, C-H-A-T. They have a free version. Then, of course, once we get past 100 or 500, then you gotta subscribe to it. But you can set up custom chat bots to respond, to have an autoresponder for everything. Which
great.
is so that way people don't feel like you're off showing property. You don't have time to respond to this inquiry that just came in. Use the technology that's being put out there to leverage your time.
Even if you just send, I know for me, even if you just send me something automated, like bye, we're going to get back with you soon with more information. Now I'm content. Now I'm waiting on Amir to call me back or Byron to call me back or to get back with me. But if you go crickets because you're out there showing property for 2-3 hours, whatever, they're going to go, wow, that was a waste of my time. Let me go find another agent. So it's a great way to get them on the hook. And the AI tools, the guys that are out there, you got to start embracing them. I mean, listen, the first, if you're my age, don't let it overwhelm you. Don't let it intimidate you.
Take your time.
Take your time.
One little thing at a time.
Siri was the first AI that we ever used. I've been using Siri for
maybe Alexa.
Alexa or Siri, whatever. You're right. For the Detroit people. I mean, I didn't even realize. Somebody told me like years ago, like, well, you've been using AI. You use Siri to schedule your appointments and get set your reminders. I go, oh yeah. So again, not to brag about my tech skills. Not to brag. I don't want to be a braggadocious over here. We and we don't have enough time left to get totally into this, a whole other topic, but 10 years ago, the industry came out with something called the Danger Report. The T660 group, Swanepoel, genius guy over there, really smart guy, came out with the Danger Report 10 years ago, and it was dead on what the industry was going to happen. I think the report itself scored out like a 92 of predicting what was going to happen with the lawsuits, everything. It was on. They called it the Danger Report. So about a month ago, maybe, they came out with the Opportunity Report 10 years later. Well, it's the same damn thing. They just wanted to warm it up a little bit. They didn't want
happier.
That's right. Yeah, they knew we had a rough couple of years in the market. They said, "Ooh, we're going to call it the Opportunity Report." And we'll go over that. That's not what I want to tell you about. It was well over 100 pages. I have no idea. I know it was over 100 pages. I was like, I got to dig into this report. I think I told Amir that I got to dig into this thing. There's like 10, they come out with these 10 things. No, they got more than 10. I think it's got a bunch in here, 20. But as I was about to pull it up, I pulled it up. Somehow I got it, or it was sent to me or whatever on Adobe.
Yep.
And as I opened up the Adobe, there's a little thing up in the top right corner that said AI something, Adobe's version of Watson or Siri.
Yeah, that's the version.
And I said, I'm going to ask AI to summarize the report for me. And literally in 40 seconds, this is what I got. It summarized and gave me all the, so it made me, I was telling people, I just sorted through that whole report and I read it out. And really, in 5 minutes, you got all of that? I go, yeah, and I printed it out. I'm pretty awesome. And guys, use this stuff. It's leveraging your time. I don't need to read 114 pages when I only needed 2. And that's what it's doing.
And that's on most of the apps that recently got updated that can do that. Just look for the little AI features, especially like I had a friend that we were talking about their phone. They haven't updated their phone to the newest software. They happen to be on an iPhone. So all the AI stuff that's come out on the iPhone is from 18.1, that particular one. She was still on 17. So if you're not updated on some of these apps, you're not going to be able to see what he saw in the corner that said AI to do the outline. So make sure you're updated on your applications, whether you're on Android, Microsoft, it doesn't matter what you're on. If you're still on something from 6 years ago, AI is not going to be a part of it. Unless it's been stuff like Office 365 or, the Microsoft or the Apple Cloud stuff that they have, iCloud, unless it's part of that, it hasn't been updated because that's coming from the back end. That's different. But if you have it directly on your computer, you need to update that stuff.
Yeah.
So keep in mind that, because you can look for, if you have to pay for it, look for the free version of something.
Yeah.
Similar, that's
I haven't paid for any of them yet, other than the little bit of money we spent with that big view.
Yeah.
We didn't spend much money at all. It's crazy. There's a button right on your phone that says use AI Magic Writer and say, and you just tell AI. We did it with Michael Cochran over at one of the trainings.
Yep.
And I said, Michael, what do you want to talk about? He said, let's talk about the value of first-time home buyer from getting pre-approved. And I said, hey, AI, write Mike a 1 minute or less script on first-time home buyers, getting pre-approved. Boom. And he was so tickled. I know he went and got it. He was all excited about it. I'll tell you something else about Outlook that I found the other day, because I'm lazy. And I get a lot of emails, and Amir gets a lot of emails. And I was looking up at the ribbon on my Outlook. I saw this camera. I was like, well, what the hell does that do? And I put it on the camera. This is my tech skills again. And I was like, boom, my camera lit up all of a sudden. And I'm right. So now you can respond to your emails with video. Because I'm not really good at typing. They hear me in this when I type. And I was like, okay. Yeah, that's my guru. And so that was super cool. Let me tell you the other thing I saw on there, which was cool, was it had a microphone, like on your phone. Like if I'm driving, I want to do a talk to text. Yep. You can do that too. So if it needs to be a little more formal, so I clicked on it and I go, holy cow, it's listening to me and it's putting it all on my email now. All I got to do is hit send. The last thing that I haven't got yet, because it may be an upgraded version, is Outlook has an AI.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's called whatever. They got their own special little names. So I met a guy over at Florida Realtors at the last convention over the summer, and he was the guy that was doing the video marketing classes. And he said that he doesn't respond to any of his emails. He said, I've got that AI, that Outlook, blah, blah, blah. He said, so when I come into work and open up my computer in the morning, every email has already been responded to, and it's sitting in a draft. All I got to do is proof it real quick and push send. So not only has it read it, it's responded to it. These are things that leverage your time.
Yep.
Yeah.
These are the things.
Something, little off AI, just minimal, but you're talking about Outlook especially. So most of the email apps have been updated in the past 2 years at least, that you have a contract in front of you, it's signed, and you have your new iPhone, and people are like, where do I go scan it? I got to go find somewhere to scan it. I don't have a scanner. My scanner broke. Directly in your email app, like you can hit the button, you hit a little, usually a photo button, it'll say picture or scan. You scan the document, you keep scanning it, and boom, you send your contract on. It's that easy from the email apps now. Like,
so
you don't necessarily need a true PDF thing to, take all the images. Directly in Outlook, I know for sure. Directly in Apple, I know for sure. I can just scan the thing straight from my email and go straight to it.
You're just holding your phone, scanning the document, and it'll load up as an email out of that app, and you can just push send.
Well, you start the email and then you
Yeah. That
Cool.
is too cool.
So that makes it easy for if you're, I'm an hour and a half away from my house,
Yeah.
but I want to get this contract in now because there's 9 other people looking at the house.
Right.
Then that's you sit in
Time
your
is of
car.
the essence.
You sit in your car, start pounding away, and boom, boom.
Well, guys, I know we're 5 minutes over.
Oh, yeah.
Are we over already?
Appreciate you guys sticking with us. So yeah, just one more time, I just want to reiterate, next week, December 12th, from 11 to 2, please go on our calendar and register for that, just so we can get a good head count on, food and whatnot. We don't want to, over or under order. But other than that, we really appreciate you guys sticking with us. I think this is going to be the last one for the year.
Yep.
And starting in January, we're going to roll it into the podcast.
Yep.
So you'll be able to pick it up on YouTube. You'll be able to pick it up on any of the channels that you prefer your podcast on.
Absolutely.
Whether that's Apple Music, Spotify, any of the podcast ones.
Yeah.
So, and like I said, or like Mike said earlier, if there's anything, any guests that you guys want to hear from, any questions that you want answered from Mike Twitty coming up, feel free to shoot me an email, shoot Mike an email. We'll get them answered. We'll get the guests in here.
Yeah.
We'll, start talking to people. So,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah. All right.
All right, guys.
See you next
See
year.
you all next year. See you, dope.